and welcome to Round Robin. I'm your host, Robin McCormick, and today we're going to delve into an exciting event in Hampton and also one of our top tourism attractions. It is the Hampton Cup Regatta. I have two guests today, Kraig Cole. Welcome, Kraig.
Hi.
And Lisa Adkins.
Thank you for having us.
And Lisa, you were telling me you've been involved with this race since you were how old?
5 months old. The first race was held out in the Mill Creek area, July of 1966, and I was 5 months old.
Holy cow! This is really in your blood and in your family.
Mm-hmm. I've never missed one. I've always been there, rain, sleet, snow, shine. I've always been there.
Wow. So tell us just generally, what is the Hampton Cup Regatta? I mean, a lot of people have heard of it, but don't have a real sense of what it is or the historical.
Actually, we're the oldest continuously run motorsport event in the history of the United States.
All right, let me just stop you there. Motorsport event. Now, I'm going to think NASCAR when you say that.
We're older than they are. Now, there are some races that started before we did. Our first event was in 1926. It's been in a couple different locations since then, but we've been in Mill Creek since 1966, and we've never missed a year. There are some other events out there that are older, but they had to stop during World War II. We didn't. We've got a very heavy military influence in this area, and they were actually the boats that were run during that war time were test hulls. So.
Oh my gosh. Wow. Okay, so this has been run every year since the 20s.
Right.
And what were the boats like back then?
Big,
slower.
Heavy. They were big, they were heavy, they were wooden, they were much slower. Obviously, they've streamlined stuff nowadays, using a lot more lightweight materials, carbon fiber, things like that. The engines have gotten faster, the boats have gotten smaller and lighter, but it's still very, very competitive. A lot of times when people hear the word regatta, they unfortunately think of sailboats.
You do. I mean, that's the first image that comes to my
mind.
Not
to put down sailboats, but
right.
It's just that's not what we are. It's everything. It's big, it's loud, it's fast, it's NASCAR on water.
Right. I always tell them it's not sails, it's power.
It's
power boats.
How fast do these boats go?
Anywhere from 85 to 140, depending on the class of boat. We have Jersey speed skiffs. We've got up to Grand Prix. These guys fly. Anything you can see, any speed you'll see out at Langley, you'll see here. Probably even a little faster.
Wow. Now, is it the same sort of audience? Do the same people go to car racing as go to boat racing?
Yeah, you've got your gearheads, your muscle car guys that like coming out. We do have a car show at the other end of the bridge. Our primary viewing area is the Mercury Boulevard Bridge. We shut it down, tents up, spectator area. Our pit area is open. I want to encourage anybody who wants to come out and come check the engines out, meet drivers.
And you call it pit area, like the same
exactly.
terminology.
That's where the boats are hitting the water. We have Lockwood cranes that come out and actually pick the boats up off the trailers and drop them right in the water, and the reverse when they're done with their heat. And we're constantly rolling that through. It's a busy area.
Wow. Okay. So let me stop for a second. So what would people, when is this race typically held?
Normally around the second weekend in August. We do have some tide concerns, so we have to kind of watch that from year to year, but normally it's about the second weekend in August.
Okay.
This year our kickoff party starts on the 9th. It'll be Friday the 9th at the Paradise Ocean Club, which is the old Fort Monroe Officers Club.
That'll be fun.
Oh, it was so
such
much.
a fun place.
We had so much fun last year. We had a great time. It's open to the public, so they can come, they can meet the teams, they can meet the drivers, they can hang out with us. We're going to have a band. Our band this year's Tailgate Down, and we're real excited to have them out there. They're a great local band. Then we're going to be racing on Saturday and Sunday, usually from noon to about 4 or 5 in the afternoon.
Again, I guess tides play some sort of role
in
that.
It does, yeah, a little bit, but mostly it's just when do we run the big boats versus when do we run the little boats. So.
Oh, okay. So tell me the staging for this. So you close off the Mercury Boulevard Bridge to Fort Monroe, and that's the best viewing area, I guess, because where do they race? How far is it? What's that loop like?
It's a 1.25 mile track.
Okay.
Track, on the water.
Of course.
Right.
Yeah, we don't have rain delays per se. We have wind delays.
1.25 miles.
Right, we don't have to worry about track getting wet.
Yeah.
The Mercury Boulevard Bridge gives you your best viewing area because it has that whole straightaway. Just like if anybody's familiar with the grandstands at Langley, you've got that front straightaway right there, turn 4 and turn 1. Now we have viewing area all the way around Stillwell on Fort Monroe. We've been working with Glenn Oder, trying to expand that area a little bit more, but that's a work in progress. We're definitely working very closely with Fort Monroe Authority, who have been wonderful with supporting us. Sean Halifax and Glenn both, we've been working very close with. But that's your main viewing area. In fact, we've got folks that have been coming out to the races for years and years and years, and they've got their spot on the bridge. you know as soon as you see them, yep, that you may not know
It's
their
like
name.
a tailgate party, but you have to leave your
Yeah.
cars on the other side.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, you've got the folks that have been there year after. You may not know their name, but they know you and you know them. And it's like a big party, like a family reunion.
Oh my gosh.
And that is one thing to stress too. This is a family-friendly event. We've got people who bring their kids, and we've seen their kids grow. We've had our own committee folks.
Oh, well, and
get
Lisa
kids
grew
grow.
up there. I mean, you know.
Lisa won't speak about it too much, but her father was a racer, Ronnie Hearn. He was a local boy. He set records out there on the track at the Hampton Cup. And that's another point too. A lot of us on the committee have been born and raised in Hampton. It's a very personal type of event for us. You know, we're proud of it. I mean, racers that come from all over the country talk about, hey, we love coming to Hampton. When are we going to race? We want to come to Hampton. We want to see this. We want to see y'all. Y'all treat us so well. And we just really, that's Southern hospitality. I mean, I'm not saying they don't get that at other events, but they just really go on and talk about it. We've got one fellow from Minneapolis. He races a flat bottom. And the flat bottom's a little bit more exciting because they don't strap in. The engine's literally right there beside them.
Yeah, you can see the driver and the engine is right there.
And Dale Hernandez is his name. He's a racer. And he has been instrumental in bringing the flat bottoms. A lot of flat bottoms race up in the Great Lakes area.
Where it's smoother.
And he's just been really waving our flag saying, y'all need to come back. We have a good time. Bring them on back down.
Wow.
And we've gone to different races and helped out different committees up and down the East Coast a little bit. And it gave me a better appreciation to know, hey, this is
what we have.
Of what we have.
Yeah.
And we've seen big events, we've seen smaller events, but at the end of the day, we're all working together.
So how many racers are there each year? A ballpark figure.
Last year we hosted a national event, so it was the Summer Nationals. So that was the event for all across the United States. We had between 60 and 70 boats there last year. Now this year probably won't be as many, simply because there's not a title associated with it. But there's other things that we offer at Hampton. We've got a very large body of protected water. We have a great viewing area, and we have a large pit area. So with the city of Hampton being kind enough to let us shut down that Mercury Boulevard Bridge, and Fort Monroe letting us use all that Stillwell area, we just have a massive amount of room. And a lot of other courses don't have that. A lot of other places don't have that luxury. So people know it. They know it's a good place to go. They know it's a good place to be, and they're happy to come there.
Wow. Okay. So how many people come? Like, is this a draw for Hampton? You have people from all over, and you said not just the country, but Canada and other places as well.
We've had anywhere from 20, 30, 40, 50,000 people come across the bridge during the course of a weekend.
On a good weekend. And we are an outdoor event.
Cow.
It's an outdoor event.
So sometimes we might have a little rain delay, that kind of thing for storms.
Yeah.
Like, for example, last year on Saturday.
You don't want to be out there in the lightning. But
Exactly.
as you said,
And
rain.
safety is a fact. It is the number one factor. Anytime that we need to do that, that's the thing that's driving it. I mean, if it's a little sprinkle, we're not going to stop for that. Put a rain delay. But last year we had a rain delay for about 3 hours. We got boats back on the water at 4 o'clock, and we raced until almost 8 o'clock.
Almost dark.
Almost
Yeah.
dark. I mean, as long as the
I
safety
think I
folks,
remember that actually.
as long as APBA officials were saying, "Yep, you're safe to race," we did it. We got all of our racing in that day. Unfortunately, the crowds, when the rain came in, they dispersed, but we still had a good time.
We had a great time. Yeah.
Racers had a good time. And
That's just amazing. So where do people, I mean, this many people come into town and they stay, fill up our hotels.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, Courtyard, I think, maxed out.
Yeah, the
last
Courtyard
year.
Marriott is our host hotel, and Mark over there has been wonderful to work with. He's got a little block of rooms set aside for me, but then he also helps us out by giving us little discounts, here and there. But we're expecting that we're actually going to flow over into some of the other hotels. I know the Days Inn across the street from them was maxed out last year. Courtyard was maxed out, and Crown Point Plaza, I think, was pretty full.
Oh, I
too,
bet. That's the closest.
It's the closest one.
Yeah, the RV
the
park
water.
at Fort Monroe.
They were filled. Yeah.
They maxed. In fact, I think Baxter Simmons helps manage that as well as Paradise Ocean Club. But I believe he or Scott mentioned that they've already got reservations already packing in for that weekend already. So that was back a few months ago. Actually, when we were talking about doing the Bash at the Beach again.
Now, who pays for this? How are you funded?
It's a combination of things. The city of Hampton, of course, is very generous in what they help us out with. There's a big donation from them. Plus, there's a tremendous amount of in-kind services. We could not put this race on without Lockwood Brothers. They have been with us since the 1940s. They come out every single year, and they provide either 2 or 3 cranes, whatever we need for the whole weekend. We have other people. Wanchi's Seafood has been a tremendous help with donating food so that we can feed the people in our VIP area. We can feed our volunteers. Who else have we got?
M. Price, they've been a long-time sponsor, provider, Budweiser products.
For the past 3 years, there's a gentleman from Gloucester. He's on our committee member. I'm sorry, Matthews. He'll fuss at me if I say Gloucester, not Matthews.
Once you cross that bridge,
it's a whole different thing. Yeah, but his name is Mark Harvell, and he owns Mark's Glass, and he's been the sponsor for our Bash on the Bridge for the past 4 or 5 years.
Yeah. Even we converted to Bash on the Beach.
So you do raise some of your own. You raise funds through, I assume, fees from your beverage sales and food sales.
Our vendors, we have food vendors. We have about 5 to 6 food vendors with all your typical gyro, hot dog, frosted lemonade, ice creams, that kind of thing. Non-food vendors. I think we had a fellow out last year that made cowboy hats out of beer cartons. He was a popular guy. Other businesses, real estate, we have just tents all the way down the bridge.
Old Point National Bank.
Oh yeah, Old Point. Yeah, we can't forget Old Point.
Old Point has been.
So it's very much a community effort.
Very
Absolutely.
Much. Very
Does
much.
it cost for people to come out and watch?
No, and our pit area
That's
is also
amazing. And the pit area. Where is the pit area?
The pit area is on Stillwell. If you are on the bridge, you walk to the far end of the bridge, go by and visit the car show. Ron won't let us get to go out and mention the car show. And then you come down Stillwell, and the pit area is over where the old boat docks are.
Okay.
And we drop them right in there. It's from the bridge. It's about a quarter-mile walk. We do have golf carts to assist handicapped or elderly if they want to go down there. We certainly don't want to exclude anyone. And the pits are open. You just have to have closed-toe shoes, no smoking in the pits, no drinking in the pits. In fact, we'll stop you at the ABC line for that anyway.
Right.
But that's years ago we did have an admission area, a fee to go into the pits. But we found that we were doing a lot of managing from not a lot of people. A lot of people took that as a discouragement. So we said, we don't want that. We want to encourage as many people to come out to see this event. I mean, how many times every year we run into somebody or somebody on the committee has somebody come up to them, hey, when are the races this year? Well, they were 2 weeks ago, a week ago, last weekend, that kind of thing. We want to make sure everyone is welcome. We want people to come down and see the boats. We want them to come up and talk to the drivers, see them, meet them, see the engine covers. Like I said, the folks who are in the racing, the gearheads. I don't mean that in a bad way.
Oh,
I mean,
right. It's
pull that cover off, see what they're on. These guys are literally working on their engines, tweaking them, fixing them, replacing them in some cases. And that's another thing to drive home too. Although these racers are competing for points against each other, these guys are very much a community related, a family type thing. You seeing these guys pulling parts off a spare engine or whatever, or tools, and helping out their guy who's competing right next to them.
They've swapped engines before.
They have swapped engines before. Last year we were at a different event up in New Jersey, and one of the Grand Prix racers blew his engine on the opening lap. One of the other race teams literally said, hey, we've got a spare engine. They hoisted the engine over there, and they worked all day because their legal heats were that afternoon. And that team worked all afternoon, all day to get that engine in with the other team helping them. I mean, that's really the environment that we need to make people understand. That's what's out there. We're out there having a good time. It's a competition, but at the same time, we're all there together to have to put a race on it, and one of the best events I feel like it's on the East Coast, not just in Hampton.
So, and you mentioned that the city of Hampton supported this, and every year in the budget talks, some of those discretionary spending items, people really question that. What does the city get out of this event?
Basically, the tax revenues that we mentioned with the hotel rooms, all the business licenses, the vendor fees, all of that is a
direct.
I'll say kickback.
Right, it's a direct flow.
Right. Cost benefit per se.
Right, hotel taxes, meals, food, all
gas,
that stuff.
Lodging, all the above. I mean, they're here for 3 or 4 days because I know some folks don't leave till Monday. We're bringing folks out to Paradise Ocean Club. They're out there, patroning Baxter's folks out there.
And what is the image that these out-of-towners have of Hampton? How do they see the city? Do they come back?
Yes.
They love to
Yes.
come to Hampton, like not just the racers, but some of the spectators who come from out of town. And we've been doing a lot of promoting this year with out-of-town races. We've had other folks who are going to the other races, and they're handing our flyers out. They're handing our sponsorship packages out, and inviting, hey, come and see Hampton. Come to Hampton. That's one thing we really just love to drive home. We love to see that. We went to New Jersey last year up to Wildwood to help Ann Fitzgerald put on a race up there. She actually teared up when we showed up and said, "What do you need help with?"
Right.
Because she comes down to our race. She brings APBA trailer down, and she sells the APBA T-shirts, that kind of thing, whatnot. I feel like I'm babbling, but I mean, I just.
Now, for people, it's just for the average person out there who hasn't been. What do they look for? What's the best time to go?
The bridge usually opens at. We're going to open at 11 this year.
Okay.
Maybe 10. We shut the vehicle traffic down at 10 just for safety.
Right.
But a lot of folks, they come out, but 11 o'clock is probably the ideal time to come sit up. And you're welcome to bring your own shade tent, but be aware that if you bring a pop-up 10 by 10 tent,
You might have to share.
You might have to share, and be
There's
prepared.
not that much around.
Yeah.
And be prepared to drop it very quickly if a storm blows up, or anchor it down.
Okay.
I think. We do have a requirement about no outside food or beverages, except for infants, diaper bags, that kind of thing for the children and whatnot. Any special dietary needs, we don't want to run into issues with that. But we do have the food vendors out there. We have the adult beverages out there. We've got regular beverages. So
you're really
everything's
just
there.
hanging out.
You just show up. We will have an ATM.
You don't have to know anything.
We will have an ATM by First Advantage on site, so you don't have to worry about cash. Just bring your ATM card. We have T-shirt tents with this year's design. Martin Screen Printing does our screen printing for our T-shirts that are for sale. He actually does our committee shirts.
Well, it sounds great. You guys have so much enthusiasm. Like you are, this is a huge deal. And
Well,
it's catching.
It's personal. It really is.
It
It's
is.
personal. I'm going to put a plug in for my sister. My sister's a graphic designer. She designed our logo. I mean, it's just bringing everything back and
to that family atmosphere
family
and
atmosphere.
that community.
Absolutely.
Really working with the whole community.
Absolutely.
Well, great. I look forward to it. And certainly, you can hear it. I mean, I was at Fort Monroe. I think I was at the beach one of the days last year, and
if the wind's
and
blowing
came
right,
back
you
by.
can hear it
You could
off.
hear it from the beach, and we drove by and watched for a little while, on the Fort Monroe side. But it's really cool.
I do want to make one other mention. The marina at Fort Monroe is open for anyone who wants to bring their boat over, and they will give $1 per foot discount if you mention the regatta.
Okay, that's good to know. People might want to.
And there's plenty of room over there, I've been told. So
Okay.
bring your boat over. If anybody from Norfolk's watching, they want to come over from Ocean View.
Eastern Shore, anywhere,
we're not that far.
Good.
So
Very much a water community.
Absolutely. Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you, Kraig, and thank you, Lisa, for coming by. And
Thank you for
I
having
look
us.
forward to it this year. I hope to see you
awesome.
all.
Look forward to seeing you.
Thank you. And thank you for watching. I hope you will think about going out to the bridge or to Fort Monroe or even the Hampton waterfront and checking out this event this year. Thank you.